What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2024 NBA playoffs. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper. Hit the notification bell so you know every single time we go live. Almost 10,000 subscribers, man. We are almost there. You can also listen to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and follow your boy on social media, Twitter and Instagram and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod. This is a special night, as always, a very special night when the Lakers get eliminated on my channel. It's been, you know what, in terms of entertainment value, it's always a special night whenever any of the LA teams gets eliminated, but it is also bad economically if we're talking my channel. So it is unfortunate to a degree the Lakers have been eliminated, but I have a good laugh, mainly because, as we all know, I am not a Laker hater at all. I don't hate the Lakers like most Clipper fans do. But I hate those LeBron stands, my arch nemesis. You think Harden stands are bad? The original or the LeBron stands? And it's great to see their GOAT lose and not get another ring. But we're going to be talking basketball too. I'm also going to be having my fun. So if you're, a little bit soft or you can't take the heat, Laker fans, then you probably should turn the video off. But if you can kind of take the heat, want to listen to some basketball analysis, because there's going to be mostly basketball analysis, then stick around. Maybe it'll be some therapy for you. Because overall, I think the Lakers put up a great fight in this series. All things considered, it's a very tough team. We're talking about the defending champions here. You are the 7th seed at the end of the day. Took them to 5 games. Almost every single game was close. And, Jamal Murray did Jamal Murray things. 2nd game winner of the series. I mean, can you believe this guy? He is just, when you talk about clutch gene and you say that, Jamal Murray is that. I mean, the guy is just stone cold at the end of games. And it's just because of how versatile his shot-making ability is. He can stop on a dime going either direction, off-balance shots, one leg, step backs. He's got a great handle, good fundamentals, good footwork. He's got counters to everything, and it makes him so tough to guard. He's a contested shot maker and a 3-level guy. I want to give the Lakers some credit first, though, for the win that they got, because I did not talk about that. So really briefly, I'm going to be going over game 4 just a little bit, because it is my sworn duty to the Dime Dropper fam and to myself to make sure I talk about every single game in the playoffs. So that is the goal. Game 4, and it's an LA team, of course. Lakers, you got to hit them all. But a couple things about Lakers Nuggets. It was a lot similar to the other games in the sense that the Lakers were up after 1, up at halftime, but this time they were able to fend the Nuggets off in the third quarter. That third quarter has been the one that's changed the game. And again, in game 5, it was won by the Nuggets. It kind of changed the momentum. But game 4, the Lakers stood pat. They stayed solid, and they were able to only lose it by 2, 32-30. And considering they had won the first half by a score of 61-48, they were solid going into the fourth, and they never really get the Nuggets get within single digits till the very end of the game. How were they able to do that? Well, LeBron and AD started out strong and carried that the whole way. It was definitely a desperation kind of situation, and they linked up for 8 points. And what I mean by that is, I don't know actually how many times AD assisted LeBron, but LeBron got an assist to AD for 8 points. And a lot of it was pick and roll, obviously. A lot of it was, drive and dish. But on the pick and roll, you started to see Jokic, and this carried over for game 5. He wasn't always dropping. He was hedging at times to try to prevent LeBron from going downhill. The only thing that's tough about that is when you don't have Aaron Gordon on the backside. I mean, MPJ has improved in that department, but sending Jokic and Aaron Gordon out and relying on the other guys to potentially, defend Anthony Davis on the roll, that's a tough action to guard. And so that's maybe so Jokic, the goal is to try to prevent LeBron from going downhill there. Michael Porter Jr., he had 7 points in the first quarter, strictly off ball stuff. And the main thing that the Nuggets run is they'll have Jokic in the high post. Somebody will set a little down screen for a guy on the wing to curl, and then they'll get into a dribble handoff with Jokic. Mainly MPJ, KCP, and Murray doing that. And they run it the whole game. the whole game. So, and it's very tough to guard. But Rui Hachimura, and this carried over to game 5, he had a pretty tough time navigating screens with MPJ. Just that constant movement. He's not necessarily a very nimble guy. He's a wide guy. He was, taken out of plays on a lot of the screens and just a step behind on a lot of that screen navigation. So that ended up hurting the Lakers. Having somebody like Vando would have been good there, even though he wouldn't have given you as much offensively as Rui. But Rui had a very disappointing series. After last year, he was fantastic against them. It was tough. He did increase his scoring every single game, if I'm not mistaken. I know his last 2 games were his highest scoring ones, but we're talking his highest scoring game. He scored 8 points, or I'm sorry, 9 points in game 4. He shot efficiently, 4 for 8 from the field, but 1 for 3 from 3, 9 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, forgettable defense. Actually, not forgettable. I remember that it wasn't that good in just 22 minutes. That's not that great. Taurean Prince actually ended up getting 29 minutes, but funny enough, I thought he actually played very well in game 4. He was attacking closeouts a lot, and that carried over to game 5. Some solid plays on the ball defensively. 9 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal for Taurean Prince on 3 for 7 shooting, 1 for 4 from 3 in 29 minutes. That's in game 4. Something that also carried over to game 5, the Lakers were going underneath the screens on Reggie Jackson. And God, game 5, Michael Malone said after the game that Reggie gave him some good minutes. I beg to differ. I'm going to have something to say about Reggie in a second. But what else was I going to say? Oh, Austin Reeves started out the first quarter of game 4 very aggressive, and you saw that again in game 5, getting to the basket, 2 feet in the paint. The Lakers had the most points in the paint for any quarter for any team in the league this season, with 24 out of 28 points in the paint in the first quarter. Austin Reeves had all 6 of his points in the paint. Anthony Davis, obviously on the roll and putbacks, and also just going at Jokic one-on-one. Last year, we talked about that AD could not score on Jokic one-on-one like that because he wasn't hitting his shots outside the paint. So Jokic being able to concede those floaters, those jumpers, the Nuggets defense lived with that. But this season, not only has that been a little bit better, but just the aggression of Anthony Davis going into the chest of defenders all the time, going more towards the post, focusing more on getting deeper position. And I think he's counteracted that loss of a jump shot, so to speak, with that aggression and experience. So he was cooking Jokic throughout this series. I got to give it to him. He was really cooking him. And LeBron, super aggressive as well, getting to the basket. And I think one thing that really changed for LeBron in game 4 and for the rest of the series, and I think they could have leaned into it a little bit more in game 5, was posting LeBron up. Mismatch hunting and posting LeBron up on his side, not making him work too much in pick and roll and on the ball, and allowing him to just use his strength and use his improved post game that he's had for the last, 13 years now. And you started to see a couple times he got really deep on the right block, turned over the left shoulder for a little layup. Then one time, even on the right block, he had to turn around over the right shoulder over Aaron Gordon. I mean, some really good stuff from LeBron. And of course, he can pass out of it. Then in the second quarter, Austin Reeves got hot with 7 straight points, created 9 of them in a row. But the funny part was with Denver, they still were getting, despite the Lakers' good defense in game 4, like AD, LeBron. LeBron was super alert defensively, by the way. One-on-one, off ball. The Nuggets were missing a ton of good looks. A ton. And, I have to give AD credit, though. Not only was he finishing everything on the roll, he was grabbing every rebound, scoring in the paint 1v1. And the Lakers, again, were up at half for the fourth straight game. But then, as I said, the third quarter, they kind of broke even. But yeah, AD was dominating the Joker, man, in game 4. And Joker missed 2 chippies on one possession. LeBron blocked Murray from behind. And by the way, Austin Reeves' defense on Murray for the most part of the series was so solid. I mean, you really couldn't have done it better if you're Austin Reeves. And not only just that, like at times when Austin was, whether he was cross-matched onto someone else or an unfortunate switch or in transition or he's under the basket against bigger guys, he would try his best to either commit a hard foul or put his hands up, and he just competes. I really think Austin Reeves, if the Lakers let him go, would be a big mistake. You want to keep him around. I think he's a winning kind of player. The Nuggets, by the way, MPJ had 15 points in the third quarter of game 4. He was balling. But you know who else was kind of balling? Finally, D'Angelo Russell. He had to have a good game to stand up to the critics. Game 2, I thought he was good, but games 1 and 3 was atrocious. and he bounced back with a really solid game 4, and LeBron kind of clinched it at the end. It was a lot of D'Lo putting Jokic in pick and roll, though, in the fourth quarter. And Jokic was in drop. D'Lo was doing some really good things. And one thing Darvin Ham switched up is he was putting Austin Reeves and LeBron on the bench together, and that was not working out. So he switched it to D'Lo and Bron, and that definitely worked out better in game 4. So as far as game 4, the Lakers never really let the Nuggets get too close. And again, I really like the LeBron off-ball approach. He had a couple of nice cuts as well. Lakers won it 119-108 to avoid embarrassment. I'm just going to read the lines for the major players, starting with the Nuggets. It was a much quieter game for Aaron Gordon. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. MPJ, 27 points and 11 rebounds. That's amazing stat line. 10 for 20 from the field. Then Jokic had a triple-double in game 4, 33, 14, and 14. My God. 10 for 20 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, 11 for 11 from the line. But listen to this, and this goes to my point about Austin Reeves. 22 points for Murray, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Sounds good, but 9 for 23 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. And as far as the bench for the Nuggets, gave them absolutely nothing. 5 points between 4 guys. 5 points. And then the Lakers side, 25 points, 23 rebounds, and 6 assists for AD on 11 for 17 shooting. Absolutely absurd. And then LeBron with 30, with 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block on 14 for 23 shooting. 0 for 2 from 3, though, 2 for 2 from the line. Then D'Lo and Reeves with 21 apiece. So big-time performance by the Lakers to avoid embarrassment. But now, tonight's action, game 5. Sorry, Laker fans and people that were like, okay, stop talking about game 4. I get it. Now we are on game 5. So, man. Oh, boy. Same matchups that we've seen throughout the series. Jokic guarding Anthony Davis, Jamal Murray guarding Austin Reeves, KCP on D'Lo, Aaron Gordon on LeBron James, and MPJ on Rui Hachimura. Then on the other side, Rui Hachimura on MPJ, LeBron on Aaron Gordon, AD on Jokic. Basically, everybody's guarding each other, which I love. That's old-fashioned. You guard him, mano y mano. Of course, Nuggets are switching 1 through 4. I don't necessarily remember too much D'Lo targeting by the Nuggets, but I don't remember D'Lo switched on to anybody good, so that shows me that he was just showing and recovering. Joker was in drop against D'Lo and Reeves, but against LeBron, he was a mix of kind of showing quickly and recovering. And then AD was in drop as he always is. It looked like Joker was hedging on the screens with LeBron most of the time just to prevent LeBron from going downhill. And then when Jokic got doubled by Rui, because the Lakers are going to switch, when MPJ is coming off screens, they'll switch AD on MPJ and switch Rui onto Jokic. And they were doubling him a lot, but also leaving him single coverage sometimes, just kind of mixing it up. But the thing about Jokic is he just finds a way to exploit you no matter what. But the crazy part about this first quarter was how careless the Denver Nuggets were getting. 3 live ball turnovers right away in the first quarter, and each from their best 3 players, 1 from Gordon, 1 from Jokic, and 1 from Murray, and it led to an 8-0 run for the Lakers. Now, Rui had 2 wide open threes in the first quarter that he bricked, but thankfully for the Lakers, the Nuggets were having a brick fest, although it just felt like, it's game 5. The margin for error is so slim against Denver because they get better as the game goes on, like most championship teams do. And you've got to take your chances. You got to take your opportunities. Rui Hachimura missing 2 wide open threes. Those add up. By the way, for those that are listening on live YouTube, let me know if the connection is good. Am I lagging? Does it sound like I'm going underwater? And super chats are turned on. If you want to drop a dollar or a dime, any donation is appreciated. 54 people in the live right now. I know it's a Laker live, and those haven't been getting as many views as Clippers over the last year or two. It's starting to flip. It used to be Laker fans dominated my channel, but now it's becoming, I want to say 70-30 or 65-35 in favor of the Clippers. But let's get this up to 70-80. Keep retweeting the live or posting it. I don't know. Get people in here. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, guys. So let's continue. I want to pull up the stats for the first quarter for the Lakers. Okay, I got them up. Yeah, Rui Hachimura was 1 for 7 in the first quarter. 1 for 7 tonight. 3 points. And it was a lot of good looks. I don't remember Rui taking more than 1 bad shot in that first quarter. May have to rewatch the tape on that, but off memory, only 1 bad shot. MPJ, Murray, and KCP, though, they were all missing good looks. Again, not terrible defense by the Lakers. AD in drop coverage is fantastic. He is a rim deterrent. Not really when he guards Jokic one-on-one, though. But you know what? Like, looking back at it, he did as well as you can do. He really did. Like, he's contesting some of these shots so well. I remember there was one they showed where Jokic hit a hook shot. It's like, dude, when a 7-footer has that kind of touch and shoots a hook shot, it's kind of impossible to guard that. You just got to contest and hope for the best. That's what AD does. Great offense beats great defense in that situation. AD, though, I think, he still took away the rim pretty well. Jamal Murray, had Austin Reeves breathing down his neck. Austin Reeves is not the typical guy that you want to be guarding the best guard on a championship team. But that's part of the reason why this Laker team is not a championship team this season. I said it. As great as Austin Reeves was defensively the last 2 months of the season or so, it is just not like ideal to have him guarding at the point of attack. Like he's the best defender. You know what I mean? It's tough. And he did as well as you could do. And speaking of Austin Reeves, he was again aggressive in the first quarter, 6 points in the first again, just like game 4. And there was one time where he got Aaron Gordon in the air and got him to commit a silly foul. Now, Jamal Murray, it was questionable whether he was going to play or not with like a calf injury, but he looked absolutely fine to me. Came out in the first quarter, guns blazing, being aggressive, hit 3 threes, and they were all good looks. 12 points on 4 for 9 shooting and 3 for 6 from deep in the first quarter. But the Nuggets had a scare, and we were going to keep an eye on this, a sprained ankle to KCP. That's, tough to see because KCP is just so important for this Denver Nuggets team. You're starting to see, the Nuggets not having Bruce Brown, it is absolutely relevant because last season they swept these guys, and this season they got taken to 5. I don't know how much better the Lakers are. I think they're about the same. Didn't have Jared Vanderbilt this time, but I think the other guys were in better form. D'Lo obviously actually had 3 good games. Not every single game he was dog shit. So, and I think LeBron actually played better in this series. I think AD was much better in this series. I just think the Nuggets have that championship confidence, but not having Bruce Brown, that has hurt because that bench gives them absolutely nothing. But to be fair, the Lakers bench didn't give them much either. And, Christian Wood, obviously unfortunate that he got hurt. Vanderbilt was activated for this game and didn't play a second, which, look, as much as Laker fans are going to want to chop Darvin Ham's head off, I think Jared Vanderbilt, thrusting a guy into this game, I probably would have done it. But it's like, you can understand why a coach wouldn't do that in a do-or-die game. This guy is completely rusty. You know what I'm saying? But KCP got hurt, came out of the game for a sec. It's someone to watch going forward because when you lose one of those 5 starters, and I think they're the best starting 5 in the league, when you lose one of those guys, it is hard to replace them with one of those guys off the bench for them. They have not been playing well enough, and Minnesota is no joke, and they have depth. But the Nuggets, they had 5 turnovers in the first quarter, and that was leading to some great stuff by the Lakers. They went on an 11-2 run to make it 24-18. The Nuggets immediately responded with 2 threes, one by MPJ and another by Reggie Jackson, who they were still going under the screens on, and that was the right decision. The Nuggets had a 10-0 run to end the quarter. Reggie Jackson with 5 points to end the quarter, and the first quarter score was 28-24 Nuggets. So they finally won a first quarter. Second quarter, the Nuggets are going to go to that small ball unit with Aaron Gordon at the 5 and try to switch everything. But the Lakers going with Jackson Hayes as their backup 5. Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, we'll talk about it was his performance in both halves, but in the first half, I actually thought he was very solid. He made a corner 3. Then he took a bad 3 after that because he got excited. But his defense was actually really good. He stopped Murray twice. He did a good job on Jokic one time when he was switched onto him, unfortunately, and caused a travel. And he got a block from the perimeter. So not bad from Spencer, in my opinion, in that second quarter. He was a +5 in the plus-minus, but he only played 4 minutes, so not much to talk about. D'Lo, was getting attacked by Christian Brown one-on-one, and he was standing up to the task. And during this time, the Lakers went on a 12-0 run, and it starts with the Denver Nuggets just continuing to turn the ball over left and right. 4 turnovers for them in the second quarter. So at halftime, they had 9 turnovers. You're on pace for 18 turnovers. Not ideal at any level. Definitely not in the NBA. The Lakers were up by as many as 8, but they only led by 3 at the half. So it just felt a lot like these other games. Another halftime lead. I'd say D'Lo, he had some really good chances to extend the lead on open threes, and he was 1 for 3 from deep in that second quarter. But he did have 7 points in that quarter. AD had 8 points in the second, and LeBron played the whole quarter and had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal, and no turnovers. The guy was in attack mode, making things happen, and that pick and roll, that dribble handoff with AD was causing some really good stuff. And they were getting great stuff, just putting Jokic in the action. Like Jokic, he's an improved defender. He was really good last year defensively in the playoffs, but he's still not necessarily that good of a defender. He was getting attacked in space when he was coming out. They were still getting some good stuff. He wasn't preventing that pass over the top by any means, and he was getting cooked by AD all series, to be honest. And in the beginning of the third quarter, the Nuggets actually went with Gordon on AD because Jokic was getting absolutely cooked. D'Lo, he missed 2 wide open threes before he ended up hitting one and started getting going more so in that third quarter as it went on. Let's take a look at what his field goals came out to. Yeah, 1 for 4 in that third quarter. All of them were threes, and there were a lot of good looks, and he didn't hit. And again, small margin for error. He's got to make those shots. Aaron Gordon on AD didn't really work because LeBron started getting aggressive in the post against KCP and those smaller guards, and that caused the Nuggets to double. And then LeBron obviously makes the right pass all the time when he gets the second defender, and that's when the Lakers were starting to cook just a bit. Reeves defensively, I talked about it just a second ago, but he forced 2 turnovers, 1 on each star at one point. There was in the third quarter. He pulled the chair on Jokic and caused a travel. Then another one, I forget how he got it on Murray, but Reeves, he was just competing, man, just totally competing. And it's just crazy, with KCP. By the way, he returned KCP and fought it out, which I give him so much credit for doing that. But man, you could tell because every single time down the floor, Murray, Jokic, pick and roll or dribble handoff. Every single time. It's tough to guard. It's tough to guard. You know where it's coming from, but it's so difficult. The Lakers were mostly with just AD and drop coverage, Reeves chasing best he could, and they tried their best. They really did. The Nuggets even started to switch, though, Joker onto LeBron after the AG on Aaron Gordon. The Aaron Gordon on AD didn't work, so they switched back. Then LeBron started attacking Joker in the pick and roll, and they started switching. And for a second, LeBron started bricking in isolation. And when he did that, MPJ had 5 straight points. One layup where he attacked, forget if it was D'Lo or Austin Reeves. Then another one where he hit that 3. It would have been a 4-point play had he made the free throw. And so the Nuggets started taking advantage in transition when the Lakers were missing. It was a while where Darvin Ham did not call a timeout in that third quarter when the Nuggets were tying the game and regaining the lead. It was way too long before he called one. I don't understand. You're not Phil Jackson. You've got no margin for error. This is why Laker fans hate your guts. And at this point, Murray started hooping, and so did Joker. Every time Joker got the ball at the foul line or in the paint, it's like if you weren't sending help, he was going to score. He was getting to that little turnaround, getting to that little jump hook. And yeah, making the right read out of double teams as well. And Jamal Murray was starting to cook. In that third quarter, Jamal Murray had 4 points. Jokic had 11, and MPJ had 12. Gordon, Jokic, KCP, and MPJ played the entire quarter. Jamal Murray sat 3 minutes of it for Peyton Watson and for Reggie Jackson. Oof, this was just high-level hoops. 31-26 in favor of the Nuggets in the third. Again, winning that third quarter. A 21-10 run for them to end it. And twice, LeBron didn't get back because he was complaining. Look, there were some fouls at LeBron or on LeBron at the rim. But 2 times, this is a do-or-die game. This is the type of shit I criticize him for, and it's why he'll never be my GOAT. Ever. This is why I grill his fans excuse-making losers. Bro, I get it. You got fouled. Do or die. Get back and complain on the next dead ball. Do or die, broski. MPJ was unbelievable, though. He's just coming off those screens, popping jump shots, and the consistency and efficiency he was playing with in this series. So good. Now the fourth quarter. What a quarter this was. Games 2 and 5 of this series, absolute classics. Gotta love it. Aaron Gordon was in drop coverage when he was playing that 5 role because, when AD was in, you're not switching smaller guys onto Anthony Davis. Spencer Dinwiddie missed 2 free throws. Now, he would not be the only one to miss free throws for the Lakers. And ultimately, that is one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest, that they lost the game. Some people are talking about Ham's lineups, this and that. What lineups? I didn't see anything out of the ordinary. You missed free throws. Okay, you didn't play Vando. I'm sorry, man. People just blame coaches way too easily. Do I think Ham should get fired? Absolutely. We'll talk about what they should do, after this is over. But it's not I don't think it's Ham's fault they lost today, except, it's not. Okay, I'll put it this way. He deserves some blame, but he doesn't deserve all the blame or the majority of it, in my opinion. He deserves the majority of it, in my opinion, for them not finishing in the playoffs outright because he took so long to realize, hey, starting D'Lo and Reeves alongside AD and LeBron is the move. I mean, it's literally how we got to the conference finals last year. But overall, those free throws, man. Those free throws. The Nuggets, they only shot 9 free throws in the game. They made 8 of them. That one miss came from MPJ. The Lakers shot 27 free throws, and they made 18 of them. Spencer Dinwiddie being 0 for 2 from the line is unacceptable. Jackson Hayes 1 for 2. That's what you would expect. Taurean Prince was 4 for 4. Austin Reeves 6 for 8. Man, if you would have just made one more of those, Austin Reeves could have gone a long way. LeBron James 5 for 7. He did make those 2 at the end to tie the game before Murray's game winner, but could have made one more of those. Would have been nice. And then Rui and AD 1 for 2 apiece. Huge missed free throws. Fourth quarter alone, Lakers were 5 for 9 from the line. 5 for 9. The Dinwiddie one was huge because it led to a 3 from Murray. So, against teams of that caliber, when you miss a layup or you miss 2 free throws, they will always make you pay. Now, when this is all happening, right? Reggie Jackson is playing such awful basketball, I can't even tell you. This guy would give the ball to Jokic. The cut was right there, the give and go, and he just wouldn't go. Taking way too many dribbles on everything. Shooting ridiculous shots. He just plays such a bad style that does not. I love Reggie Jackson so much, but I said that last year. He doesn't belong in a championship rotation, and he's only proven to me that I was right. He's not. He made a couple of shots. He's not playing well. He's not doing the right things out there. He's not moving the ball fast enough. The ball's sticking way too much with him. That's not how Denver plays basketball. That's just my opinion. Let's see what his stat line was. Love Reggie, though. 3 for 8 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. No turnovers. You'll take that in 18 minutes, which was by far the most of any Nugget reserve. Justin Holiday played 4 minutes. Donut, 0 for 0. Christian Brown, 6 minutes, 2 points, 0 for 2, 0 for 1 from 3. Both of those points came from the line. Peyton Watson, he had a very nice block. Wait, didn't give him credit for that block? Maybe that was game 4. Getting them confused because I watched them both today. But 3 points, 1 for 1 from the field. He made a 3 in 5 minutes. That was it, though. The starters all played 33 plus minutes, even hobbling KCP. Now, Rui Hachimura, he had a couple of nice cuts on the baseline in the fourth quarter for dunks. With Jokic coming out in the pick and roll, it got AD in some short roll situations, and Rui Hachimura or LeBron in situations like that. They were also double teaming AD at times in the post with smaller guys, and LeBron. That would put their defense in rotation. Rui Hachimura finished nicely on 2 of those dunks in the fourth quarter. He played the whole fourth quarter, Rui, and had 1 bucket on 1 for 2 shooting. That shot he missed was a mid-range. That wasn't even close. That wasn't a great shot, to be honest. I will say this, though. Defensively, Hachimura was nowhere near good enough. He kept getting lost guarding Michael Porter Jr. Throughout games 4 and 5. He just kept getting lost. That's what would have been nice to have Jared Vanderbilt. But, of course, Jared Vanderbilt offensively not great outside of offensive rebounds. But, yeah, that was really hurting because MPJ, he was just fantastic in this entire series, to be real. He was only 1 for 2 in the fourth, though. made a three. Big shots. MPJ played the whole fourth. Murray played the whole fourth. Aaron Gordon played 11 minutes and 27 seconds. Then Jokic and KCP played 9 minutes and 3 seconds. So he got a little bit rest at the top of that quarter. LeBron, have to say he was working his ass off. He was really working his ass off. And then you started to see fatigue set in a little bit because he shot 2 straight threes. One of them was wide open in the left corner. Good shot. The other one from the top, not a great shot. I believe he still made one in the fourth, though. Yeah, he did. He was 1 for 3 from 3 in the fourth, though. And those were his only 2 misses. He made the shots from 2 at the basket. Murray, though, that dunk on LeBron, there was 2 rotations that were just a little bit late from LeBron in that fourth quarter. One was where Jokic had a layup and didn't really contest it. Then the other one was where Murray he actually did contest it, but Murray dunked on him. That was wild. Absolutely wild. He didn't really get up as high as, you normally think LeBron would. But again, playing a lot of minutes, he was starting to get really on ball in that second half. It was he and AD pick and rolls or dribble handoffs so much, or LeBron attacking smaller defenders in the post and stuff like that. But in the fourth quarter, it looked like LeBron was going to get the offensive relief that he had asked for and that he needed, because AD, once he got that stinger from MPJ, he didn't look the same for the rest of the game. He shot 1 shot in the fourth, and I know we've talked about AD only shooting 1 shot in the fourth and stuff like that. Even, what's it called? Even when he's healthy, right? But that shot was so short in the middle of the key, that turnaround over the right shoulder, right at the top of that first quarter for AD, that I don't really blame them for not going to him in that fourth. And let's be real, they had 27 points in the fourth quarter, shot 56% from the field. The only thing is they didn't make their threes. 2 for 7 from 3. LeBron and AD, there was one possession where LeBron and AD, I think, missed the 3 on the same possession. It was really brutal. But the Nuggets, that's what made the difference for them in the fourth. They actually shot just 44% from the field in the fourth, as opposed to the Lakers 56. But the Lakers shot 29% from 3 in the fourth, and the Nuggets shot 62.5% from 3 in the fourth. So makes a big difference. Austin Reeves, he looked like he was about to take the Lakers home. He literally did. Put on the cape for a sec. 6 straight points that he had. Then Murray had 4 straight. Then we had the foul that wasn't called, where AD was all over Jokic, and then he blocked him at the top, and they reviewed it, and they said no, marginal contact. They were just letting him play. And as I said, ever since 2021-22, these last 3 years of the playoffs have been much more physical than 2015, 16, all the way to 2021. Reeves, when Reeves made the 3 ball to respond to the Joker layup, I think that put the Lakers up by 1. I was like, oh my God, are they going to about to win this because Austin Reeves is going off? D'Lo, how many points did D'Lo have in the fourth quarter? He had 2 buckets. Yeah, 2 for 3, 4 points, 2 assists in the fourth. And then a huge possession. KCP came off a screen. AD needed to contest because whoever was guarding KCP, I believe it was D'Lo, was completely taken out on the screen. He missed it short. And D'Lo, he had to basically switch on a Jokic last second. Jokic got the rebound and put it in. And then LeBron had that layup to put the Lakers up 104-103. And then LeBron did not put a body on Aaron Gordon. Gordon got the offensive rebound. Jamal Murray straightaway 3, made it 106-104. LeBron ends up getting fouled, makes both. Then Jamal Murray, Jokic pick and roll for the win. Murray goes to his left. Pretty decently defended, but not well enough. Can you blame Austin Reeves for it? Not really, in my opinion. And smart decision by Michael Malone to not call timeout. For the second time in this series, Jamal Murray hits a game winner. What was wild to me, though, is that, Darvin Ham had no timeouts. So he didn't manage his timeouts well. It was very disappointing. But the Nuggets ultimately won because they were the better team, and the Lakers missed too many free throws. And their best player never gets involved in the action in the fourth quarter. And then the guy that has to do it is 38 years old. And defensively and on the rebounds, LeBron didn't do quite enough in that second half. I'm sorry, mainly in that fourth quarter. But to be honest, I'm not really blaming LeBron and AD for anything, or Reeves. I mean, you can argue AD didn't have enough points. LeBron was pretty fantastic. It's hard to blame him for much, even though that one possession was crucial. But Nuggets are just a better team. I don't know how else to put it. I don't think Laker fans should be too mad at the team. I think it's really interesting conversation about what they need to do going forward. You would be frustrated, obviously, losing in this fashion. I mean, game 2 was there for the taking, really was. But I think you look at the series, a lot of the role guys didn't do well enough for the Lakers, but the stars needed to be just even better to me. Even better. The Nuggets win it 108-106. They beat the Lakers for the second straight year, just like the Lakers did them in 08 and 09. Goes around, comes around. And in both cases, each team had the best player in the world. 4-1 this time, 4-0 in a sweep last year. Let's read the lines for the game. The Lakers shot 46% from the field. The Nuggets shot 47% from the field. The Lakers shot 29% from three, so not great. And there was a lot of good looks they missed. The Nuggets shot 42% from three, so the three ball was absolutely one of the differences. As I talked about, free throws, huge for the Lakers to miss that many. And then the rebounding battle was close. It was 45-41 in favor of Denver. Lakers had 11 rebounds, the Nuggets 9. They dominated the offensive glass in game 4. Some big offensive rebounds late were costly. And then, let's read the lines for the Nuggets. I read the bench. KCP was 2 for 10 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3. Lakers didn't quite take advantage. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Made a timely 3, but was not shooting well. Did a good job on D'Lo throughout the series. But they're going to need KCP to not only be healthy, if he is healthy, shoot better in the next series, because that wasn't quite good enough this time around. Now for MPJ, he was just spectacular in this entire series. Another great game. 26 points, just 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, just 1 turnover, 8 for 12 from the field. My God. 5 for 7 from 3, 5 for 6 from the foul line in 46 minutes, and he was a team high plus 12. Just spectacular all series long. That's what you like to see from MPJ. Feels like they're trying to get him involved in more actions, more dribble handoffs, and he is absolutely flourishing. Aaron Gordon, much quieter game for him, but the rebounds were huge. 7 points, and defense, of course. 5 offensive rebounds, 13 total, 6 assists, 1 steal and a block on 3 for shooting, 1 for 2 from 3 in 46 minutes. Aaron Gordon, it's just very hard for him to have bad games because his role is all about defense, effort, and just being right place, right time, and feeding off of the stars. So outside of a couple reckless fouls, I thought he was pretty awesome. And then the stars. Murray, 32 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers on 13 for 28 shooting, 5 for 10 from 3, 1 for 1 from the line in 41 minutes. He emptied the clip. Game winner for the second time in the series. Unbelievable. Jokic, 25 points, 20 rebounds, 9 assists, 7 turnovers, though, and some of them were just ridiculously reckless. Some uncharacteristic, like that outlet pass he had that went over the head of, forget if it was MPJ or Aaron Gordon. 12 for 21 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. No free throw attempts for the Joker, which is insane. In 41 minutes, he's obviously my player of the game. Just does so much on the court. It's hard to go away from him. But generational series yet again. Now for the Lakers. Jackson Hayes played 7 minutes, 1.5 rebounds. Look, if you want to be a championship team, I think it's safe to say Jackson Hayes can't be your backup big. So Lakers got to upgrade there. If they want to run this team back, of course. Gabe Vincent, 9 minutes played. Again, I think his defense actually was very solid in the minutes that he got, but he just never really got a rhythm this season due to injury. So he was basically a worthless addition. Donut for Gabe, 0 for 2 from the field. Both of them were threes. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, an extremely pointless move and addition, considering Gabe Vincent came back. I just don't think that Spencer Dinwiddie was really needed for this Laker team. He actually played better defense than I thought he would play, but it just, I don't know. I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie was the right fit for this team. 6 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists for him, 1 block in this game, no turnovers on 2 for 4 shooting, and all those shots were threes in 14 minutes. Don't actually think this was that bad of a game for him, but again, pointless move. Taurean Prince, 4 points, 1 rebound, was attacking closeouts left and right, but 0 for 5 and 0 for 3 from 3 doesn't help in a must-win game. 4 for 4 from the foul line. Thought his defense was pretty good, but I think you can keep Torian Prince in a backup role. I think he's fine for that, and I think he did fine in that role throughout the series. Just didn't play well in this one. Starters all played 34 plus minutes, and you know what? They overall had pretty good regular seasons. Let's talk about the playoffs, though. Rui Hachimura, he had his best game tonight. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist on 6 for 15 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the line. But he was not consistent enough in this series. I think Rui Hachimura is best served to come off the bench and get buckets and add some size to your team. But as a starter next to these 4 guys, they need somebody a little bit more defensive minded. That would have been Jared Vanderbilt, and they did not have that. However, even with Jared Vanderbilt and a better coach, I just don't think that makes the difference in beating Denver. I personally think that they have the best player in the series. They have the clutchest player in the series in Murray. Anthony Davis, your best player, your go-to guy, doesn't really want the ball in the fourth quarter, and you're relying on LeBron James to do all this stuff because he wants to do that, and I guess he doesn't trust Reeves and D'Lo enough, and they are fairly inconsistent, so you can kind of get his point in that regard. But, like, in my opinion, you saw the blueprint in games 4 and 5 that LeBron being off ball a little bit more conserved his energy for that. What's it called? Conserved his energy for that fourth quarter where he was fresher and was able to still play defense throughout the game in that game 4. But I don't know, man. I think the Lakers might need a third star if they want to keep AD and LeBron. But the thing is, getting a third star, does that hurt your overall capability of building a sound roster around AD and LeBron? So it's tough, it's tough when you're relying on, as great as he is, a 39-year-old. Next year, he's going to be going on 40 as a top 2 player on your team. The Lakers can't get a good enough seed, in my opinion. It's just not, it's not feasible unless they get a third star. Or, I mean, is upgrading the role guys and bringing Vando back and getting a new coach going to be that much of a difference? Like, I just believe it's not. Anyway, let's talk about the big 4. D'Angelo Russell. I think he had, God, not good enough of a game, though, when he was 2 for 10 from 3. I just saw it for the first time. Felt like, and honestly, I can't say it didn't feel like that. 4 for 5 from 2, 2 for 10 from 3. 14 points, 6 assists, 2 turnovers. But yeah, missed too many open threes and was just not good enough yet again. I don't know what to say. I mean, maybe he can't be a starting point guard in a championship team because he's not good enough in doing the other things when his shot's not falling. Austin Reeves, very good game in my opinion. Almost brought it home. 9 points in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, on 4 for 6 shooting. Very good defense throughout the series on Murray. I would keep Austin Reeves. I definitely would. I think he had a very solid series. Not as good as last year, but solid. 19 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Wow. 1 turnover on 6 for 11 shooting and 1 for 4 from 3. Again, he also had some good looks at 3 that he didn't make. 6 for 8 from the foul line. Could have used 1 more of those. So still not good enough, but I still think Reeves is young, going to get better, but he did not have a good enough series. Last year, I think he did, but this year, not enough. Delos, not enough. Rui, not enough. LeBron time, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists, 4 steals, and just 1 turnover. That was when he lost the ball, trying to push it up the floor. Jokic poked it away. 11 for 21 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, 5 for 7 from the line in 44 minutes. I thought LeBron was pretty spectacular in this game and very good throughout the series, but I don't think he was good enough in game 1. I don't think he was good enough in game 3, closing the game and defending Aaron Gordon. And in this game, I think he was great, but at the end, he's just old, you know what I mean? Like those 2 threes, one of them was a really good look, probably needed that. The rotations at the end. He didn't really do much defensively in the fourth. So again, LeBron, as great as he was, not quite enough. Anthony Davis, what a series he had. 17 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 turnovers. Solid game. Not enough points, though. 8 for 11 from the field. You can partially blame the stinger. But as great as AD was, not enough. He didn't get the ball in the fourth quarters enough. It's the same old story. This is the standard that you have to be to beat Denver. That's what I think. As far as next season, I already said what I have to say. I just want to say to the Laker fans, man, thank you guys so much for another year supporting me. I know I'm a Clipper fan, but I try to talk about these games unbiased and just give the take of somebody watching basketball in their city on local television. And it is an honor to watch LeBron on local TV and Anthony Davis on local TV. And of course, back then, Kobe on local TV. So I always embrace the LA having two teams thing. And I really appreciate you guys for showing me love, even as a Clipper fan. You guys are partially responsible for making my channel what it is today. And every season, I appreciate that you guys rock with me. I try to do Laker lives as much as possible. And this season, with having season tickets for the Clippers and Locked On Clippers, it was hard to do it as much. But that's why Basketball on Figueroa was so good with Edwin, and that's going to be coming out tomorrow, by the way, as well. By the time you're seeing this, it'll probably be out. And being able to talk about every single Laker game still on this channel, I thought that was great because this is an LA sports, LA basketball centric channel, and that includes the Lakers as well. So appreciate all you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you guys next season, but I also hope to see you guys stick around for my analysis on other teams. I hope these Laker fans are fans of other teams that are not just, they're done with basketball now after the Lakers are out, which my uncle is one of those people. He'll just be like, I don't want to watch anymore. He says the season should just be over when the Lakers are out. Sorry, we got some great hoops to play. Anyway, now we're going to be talking about some other games. Remember, if you want your comments to be shown in the middle of the live, like super chat from Phoenix Gen Z, thank you so much. Says this series goes 7 with Vogel plus Caruso. I mean, who are you replacing Caruso with? Anyway, let's talk about some of the other games. I'm going to start with the only game 2 I haven't talked about, and that's OKC versus New Orleans. Now, I talked about how in game 1, it was a chance to steal for New Orleans, but Brandon Ingram laid an egg, and SGA closed. Game 2, similar matchups. Chet on Jonas Valanciunas on Chet, Herb on SGA, Herb on SGA, SJ on Herb, Lou Dort on Brandon Ingram, and what a great job he was doing in these first 2 games. I haven't even watched games 3 and 4 yet, and I'll still talk about them soon. J-Dub guarding CJ McCollum, SGA, I already mentioned on Herb, and then Giddey on Trey Murphy. Murphy was guarding Josh Giddey. So those guys were matched up against each other. Ingram and J-Dub were matched up against each other. And then CJ on Lou Dort. Jonas Valanciunas was in drop coverage, and so was Chet. Both teams were switching 1 through 4, except OKC was not allowing Josh Giddey to switch onto CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, and CJ was not being allowed to switch onto SGA, so they were showing and recovering. Early, New Orleans was going into what they went with in game 1, which was posting up Jonas Valanciunas and trying to take advantage of Chet Holmgren down low, and he had 11 first half points. 11. He was dominant down low early on. Now, hold on 1 second. How long have I been cut off? 4. So again, my audio stopped. Sorry, guys. Now we're going to be talking about some other games. Remember, if you want your comments to be shown in the middle of the live. Anyway. All right. So the New Orleans Pelicans and the Oklahoma City Thunder, same matchups as game 1. And Jonas Valanciunas was looking to exploit Chet Holmgren early on because of the size disadvantage or the strength disadvantage. But OKC was looking to push in transition. And right now, Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, they were getting nothing easy these first 2 games. Nothing. You got to credit the OKC defense, the rim protection of Chet Holmgren, but also the fact that they don't get easy baskets. Ingram just lives in the mid-range, and he's got nothing else, sadly. He gets by nobody. All his shots have Lou Dort draped all over him. CJ McCollum, he's always been a jump shooting guy. He doesn't really get to the rim that much. So they're not getting easy baskets, whereas the Thunder, they have a 5-out offense, Chet Holmgren. They have 5 guys that can handle the ball, and they have a guy that creates advantages left and right in SGA. And when you miss shots against them, they're looking to push in transition. The Pelicans playing slow. And without Zion, they really struggle to get easy baskets. The best easy baskets they were getting was Jonas Valanciunas down low. But on the other end, Valanciunas has to guard. And you have Chet Holmgren picking pops, hurting New Orleans badly. Chet hit 3 threes, if I'm not mistaken, in the first quarter. He was knocking them down. SGA, he was just in cruise control, just letting the game kind of come to him throughout it. The Thunder had 7 threes in the first quarter, and the Pels are missing all their open threes. And the Thunder made a run at the end of the quarter. SGA had 3 straight buckets, all from all 3 levels, one in the paint, one in the mid-range, one from 3. And Brandon Ingram had 3 turnovers in the first quarter, including 2 offensive fouls. And it was just a great Chet Holmgren quarter, just everywhere on both ends of the floor. Presence at the rim, pick and pop, going to the basket, being aggressive. And the Thunder, after one, led by a score of, it's not loading. Come on, NBA.com. Thank you. 35-22. SGA had 7 in the first. Chet Holmgren had 15 in the first on 5 for 5 shooting, which is a contrast from game 1 where he started off a bit slow. Lou Dort had 6 points, 2 threes in that first quarter. Isaiah Joe even came off the bench and hit a 3. And instead of the Kenrick Williams small ball, they went with Jalen Williams from Arkansas as the backup 5. In the second quarter, the Thunder were just continuing to roll on all cylinders. Their ball movement was fantastic. As I said, creating advantages. Jalen Williams is a dude. On defense, they had Isaiah Joe hedging on CJ McCollum, and he did a decent job there, and he was hitting his threes. Jalen Williams from Arkansas was in drop coverage, and, they weren't really getting exploited much because the point of attack defense on the Thunder is so solid. And after the first quarter with Chet hitting all those threes, New Orleans was starting to rotate on those pick and pops to make Chet pass the ball instead of just conceding that wide open 3 with Valanciunas in drop coverage. So nothing really going the Pelicans' way in the second quarter. In the first half. The score at halftime was 63-50 in favor of the Thunder. So the Pels were still kind of hanging around. Valanciunas had 15 points and 5 rebounds in the first half. Herb Jones had 10 points, so he was starting to make shots compared to the first game. That was just in the first half. McCollum had 9 points in the first half. Brandon Ingram had just 2 shot attempts in the first half. So brutal there. SGA 16 points in the first half. Chet Holmgren 20 points in the first half. Lou Dort 3 threes in the first half, and Isaiah Joe 2 threes in the first half. And these guys are the real deal. These guys are absolutely the real deal. Second half, it was a lot of just trading baskets. I don't really have much to say about it. By the way, Antonio Daniels, I was watching the game on the New Orleans Pelicans local feed. He's very passionate, man. He's very passionate. He's a good listen. Gets very into it. Yeah, the third quarter was 24-29 in favor of the Thunder. SGA had 12 points in that quarter. He was starting to really cook. Then on the Pelicans side, Ingram finally got going with 12 points. And it started with him catching the ball closer to the basket. And Jamal Crawford's been harping on that in commentary. And he's doing a very solid job in that color commentary role. But he was talking about getting the ball closer to the basket, working 10 feet in, 12 feet in, not 15 feet out. You got to give Lou Dort credit. He's pushing Brandon Ingram away from the basket. He's getting physical. Fourth quarter wasn't really a game. The Pelicans had 9 offensive fouls. Giddey was starting to switch on to SGA. And the transition defense of the Pelicans not great. They just weren't really stopping the ball, making really a play on the ball. OKC, they just play a really good style of basketball. Mark Dagnall is the deserved coach of the year. He's done an amazing job. They have some creative offense. And they have 5 guys that can handle the ball and that can guard for the most part. 4 guys, Giddey can't guard. 5 guys that can handle the ball and, 4 guys that can shoot, and athleticism all over the floor and speed and confidence. They are a 1 seed for a reason. They're one of the most surprising 1 seeds of all time. They're showing why they are the 1 seed. And people say, your regular season is overrated and this and that, but the regular season, your record is your record, despite the fact that, the Thunder have a better record than Denver. Most wouldn't say they're better than Denver. You're not just better than someone because your record's better, but they're a 57-win team in the regular season. And that accounts for something. And you're seeing why. They're connected on both ends. They're playing with a load of confidence. And SGA is just ready for this moment. So let's read the lines for that one in the game. Start with the New Orleans Pelicans, man, who missed Zion desperately. They shot 45% from the field, 27% from 3. It all feels very stagnant for them. They got to the line a good amount, 21 times. They made 19 of their free throws. So you'll take that. As far as the players who played, Jose Alvarado has done nothing so far in this first 2 games. 0 points on 0 for 5 shooting and 0 for 3 from deep in 17 minutes. Larry Nance was pretty quiet in this one. They went with Jonas Valanciunas a lot more than normal. 2 points. They also went small at some points. Didn't really work. 2 points for Nance, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Got 3 offensive rebounds, 3 turnovers, though, 1 for 1 from the field in just 14 minutes and 26 seconds. Najee Marshall was pretty good, 10 points off the bench, 3 for 6 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. I don't think he's been bad in the first 2 games. Then the starters, all who played 22 minutes or more. Valanciunas played 22 minutes, 44 seconds with rounds up to 23. 19 points, 7 boards, 2 assists on 8 for 14 shooting and 3 for 3 from the line. I think he did his job. I think Valanciunas is not a very good defender. Trey Murphy, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. You're going to need more without Zion. 3 for 8 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. Going to need more without Zion. He was great in game 1, but he's young. He's a role player. Makes sense. We'll see if it I haven't even seen anything about the games 3 and 4, so we'll see if the role players do better at home thing applies to him. Herb Jones had a much better game. 18 points, 2 rebounds, just 1 assist, 2 turnovers on 6 for 9 shooting, 4 for 7 from 3. So he shot well, 2 for 2 from the foul line. And then you have the stars. CJ McCollum, just 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals, 4 turnovers on 6 for 14 shooting, and 1 for 5 from 3. I mean, second half, CJ just was only able to get 5 shots off. It's just not good enough. And he just hasn't played well in the playoffs for quite some time. I like CJ McCollum, but I don't know, man. I would look to getting rid of him if I were the Pelicans after this year. He hasn't come through. He's had a good regular season, but he hasn't come through. And there's Ingram. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists on 5 for 10 shooting. The fact that you only get 10 shots off in 33 minutes is kind of disgraceful. He's been nowhere near good enough. I'm very disappointed in him. No injury excuse needed. Nothing else to say. I know he's got Lou Dort on him, but come on. Just showing he's kind of one-dimensional. He's just a contested mid-range guy. He's got nothing else. OKC, man. Aaron Wiggins played 12 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Talking about making an impact. 2 for 2 from the field and 2 for 2 from the foul line. Hayward played 10 minutes, a donut, 2 rebounds, 0 for 1 from the field. Cason Wallace played 19. He was quieter than game 1. 2 points, 3 boards, 3 assists on 1 for 2 shooting. Isaiah Joe, 8 points, solid impact. 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal on 3 for 4 shooting and 2 for 2 from 3. Jalen Williams from Arkansas, 17 minutes, a donut, 0 for 1, was very quiet. Then the starters all played 26 minutes or more. Josh Giddey played 26, had 13 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. Very solid game for Giddey. 4 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, and 4 for 4 from the foul line. Didn't get abused defensively at all. Then you had Lou Dort. Fantastic game. He's done amazing on Brandon Ingram in these first 2 games. 15 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal on 4 for 8 shooting and 4 for 6 from 3, 3 for 4 from the foul line. Anytime you can get 67% from 3, it's amazing. The Thunder shot 59% from the field, 48% from 3, and 90 from the line. Just an amazing shooting game all around for them at home. Lou Dort, well, yeah, what a performance. And then the big 3, their new big 3, Jalen Williams, solid games, both of them. 21 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, solid defense on 10 for 17 shooting, 1 for 3 from 3. So that tells you 14 shots from 2. Getting to the basket, getting in the mid-range. So I love about Jalen Williams. He's a 3-level scorer. And then Chet, solid game. Obviously through 2 games, his best playoff game yet. 26 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, 2 blocks, killing in that pick and pop. 9 for 13 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, 5 for 6 from the line. That dude is a problem. And then SGA, the player of the game for me for the second straight game, is ready for the moment. 33 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers on 13 for 19 shooting, 3 for 5 from 3, 4 for 4 from the line. Been absolutely amazing in 35 minutes of play. And it's crazy hearing a new MVP at OKC Stadium because we've seen 2 of them with Katie and Russ, and hearing a new MVP chance for a new era of Thunder basketball with that same crowd. It's very crazy to see. That crowd was iconic for being the best crowd in terms of noise when they first got together, loud city, everybody wearing the shirts. And now you're seeing a new era of OKC playoff basketball without Russell Westbrook. It just feels very weird. And he was synonymous with that playoff ball. But yeah, that's what I got to say in this one. I mean, what do I say if I'm the Pelicans? I mean, they just don't have enough. They don't have enough. They need better performances from their two best players and the other guys to make threes. There's nothing else that's got to be said. Schemes. I mean, I don't know what to do. Play Nance more and switch everything and force Chet Holmgren to try to, post you up. I would say maybe that. But yeah, the Thunder are just very good. Just very good. And they're the real deal. Now we're going to talk about the last game I watched, which was Orlando Cleveland game 3. I know these are the games that like the series like no one cares about, but I'm still doing it. Orlando Cleveland. So it's very interesting with these two teams because they're both so defensive minded, and Orlando's so bad offensively to me. Not so bad, but like relative to playoff teams. But this game they played with such a desperation. Like they were not going to be denied. And it was the first Magic playoff win at Orlando since 2011 against the Hawks. And the Cavs just didn't come out with that right intensity like they wanted this one. And that's dangerous because that could build momentum for that next game. Same matchups though. Gary Harris on Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Suggs on Darius Garland, Paolo Banchero on Evan Mobley, and Franz Wagner on Max Strus, who's been so quiet through 3 games, by the way. But it's changed. And this is the one I was saying from the beginning. Wendell Carter starting at center instead of Isaac. I don't understand why they didn't do that in the first place. And on the other side, you had Jarrett Allen guarding Wendell Carter, Evan Mobley on Paolo Banchero, Max Strus on Franz Wagner, and then Gary Harris and Suggs. I think those two, Mitchell and Garland, switched off. Carter was kind of blitzing Mitchell to start the game, kind of getting it out of their hands. And the Magic, they started so cold and just kept shooting threes. There was one time where Franz Wagner was run off the three-point line and was in the mid-range area and kicked it out to Banchero for 3. And like, guys, you're not a good three-point shooting team. But I'll tell you, the Orlando Magic, it felt like they were knocking them down in this one. And it's just crazy, how much better they were playing at home. Like, just crazy how much better they were playing at home. Especially Paolo Banchero. Well, actually, no. Paolo Banchero was pretty solid the first 2 games. I just thought he turned the ball over way too much in game 1. But he was starting to hit 2 threes, going to the rim relentlessly. He was getting in the mid-range. There were times, I love when Paolo gets in the mid-range because he's got a solid mid-range and he's very different than a lot of one-and-dones. A lot of one-and-dones like aren't as polished and are super raw, have a lot of talent. But Banchero has solid post game, good footwork. He uses his body well. There's sometimes where he'll be in the mid-range and he'll bump into a guy and just pump fake and be patient. And he just knows he can get the shot up over anybody. He's so tall. So as long as he just takes a good picture of that shot, doesn't matter, if you stopped him on his drive, if he's close enough to the basket where he feels comfortable hitting, he can still hit. So Paolo Banchero had 10 points in the first quarter to go along with 7 rebounds in the first quarter. I mean, the guy was absolutely everywhere. Even though he was 4 for 13 in that first, he was putting so much pressure on the defense. And to go along with that, the Magic had a flurry to end the quarter. Cole Anthony hit a 3, and the non-Donovan Mitchell minutes just weren't too pretty for Cleveland in that first half. First quarter, the Magic outscored the Cavs 31-21. Paolo Banchero, as I said, had 10 points and 7 rebounds and 2 assists after the first quarter alone. But the Magic, they didn't even shoot that well from 3. They shot so many, 14 threes in the first quarter. So you're on pace for 56 at that rate. Okay, hold on. My audio stopped again. Gotta check where it stopped. Apologies for the live people. Going to the rim relentlessly. He was getting in the mid-range. There were times, I love when Paolo gets in the mid-range. He's got his, he's close enough to the basket where he feels comfortable hitting. He can still hit. So Paolo Banchero had 10 points in the first quarter to go along with 7 rebounds in the first quarter. I mean, the guy was absolutely everywhere. Even though he was 4 for 13 in that first, Paolo Banchero was absolutely everywhere. The Magic just 5 for 14 in that first quarter. As I said, they shot so many of them. They were on pace for 56 in the game at that point. But the Cavs just didn't really put much of an effort in. Second quarter, Magic bench unit came in. Mo Wagner was in drop coverage. They were trying to target Ingles, the Cavs, and he was showing and recovering on the screens. Jonathan Isaac, he was amazing in this game. We know what he can do defensively, how much of a deterrent he is. But, knocking down the open 3, being aggressive offensively, that gives him a lift. And Cole Anthony finally was showing what he can do, positively for the team, and that's get buckets off the bench. And then Jalen Suggs and the rest of them were just making their threes. Banchero was dominating on both ends of the floor. And then Orlando, we saw Donovan Mitchell attacking Paolo Banchero in game one. Now you saw Paolo Banchero twice attacking Donovan Mitchell by being the screener, knowing that he was going to switch on to him. So really good stuff. That first half was absolute domination for the Magic. They were up 61-45 at halftime. Donovan Mitchell had 9 points and 7 assists, but he was just 4 for 11 from the field. And Darius Garland was just 2 for 3 from the field. And the one thing about the Magic, they were getting dominated in the first two games on the glass with Jared Allen, and they were just finding a way to be physical and playing with that level of desperation. Like, look, we're not going to get bitched. We're not going to just go down like that. And they punched back. They were physical on the glass. They didn't let Jared Allen just punk them. So let's see. Yeah, they out-rebounded them 26-20 in the first half. Paolo Banchero had 19 and 7 at halftime. Franz Wagner had 12 at halftime with 5 assists and 3 rebounds to go along with it. And Jalen Suggs had 11. Jonathan Isaac 8. So you're just getting contributions from everywhere for Orlando in a do-or-die situation. And the game was in the refrigerator by the fourth quarter. They led by as many as 43 at one point. 43. And the Cavs should have been embarrassed by just how badly they played. Third quarter is the last quarter I'm going to talk about. Banchero and Suggs were just amazing. Suggs was getting steals, going all the way for crazy dunks, knocking down threes. Banchero was getting in his mid-range. In the third quarter, I felt like the Magic weren't even missing, and they were just doing everything better than before. Their rebounding, their defense, their transition defense. I mean, it was just amazing performance by Orlando. They outscored Cleveland in the third quarter 35-16. Absolutely dominated them and clamped them. 26% shooting for Cleveland in the quarter, 12.5 from three, while the Magic shot 62% from the field, and they were led by Paolo Banchero with 12 in that quarter and Suggs with 13 in that quarter. And the Magic stay alive in a way by not going down 3-0. They win it 121-83 over the Cavs, who really laid an egg and didn't put any pressure on them at all. Let's read the lines for Cleveland. They played a lot of players, so I guess I'm just going to read the major ones. Karis LeVert had 15 points on 5 for 13 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3. The Cavs shot 39% from the field and 23.5% from 3 in this game. But I'm telling you, a lot of them weren't good looks. Max Strus has been so quiet so far in these first 3 games. 4 points on 2 for 6 shooting and 0 for 4 from 3. Nothing to report there. Not good enough. Evan Mobley, 10 points. He's been great in the first 2 games. Quiet as hell in this one. 10 points on 4 for 9 shooting, 0 for 3 from 3, 2 for 2 from the foul line in just 22 minutes. Jared Allen, not even 10 rebounds in this game. No double-double. 15 points, 8 rebounds on 5 for 6 shooting, 5 for 5 from the line. Not much to say there. And then Darius Garland was held to 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists on 2 for 10 shooting and 1 for 4 from 3. That is no good. Nowhere near good. And then Donovan Mitchell, who's had a great first 2 games, awful in game 3. 13 points, 5 boards, 7 assists, 2 turnovers on 6 for 16 shooting and 1 for 6 from 3. There's nothing to say about Cleveland. They didn't want that game bad enough. As cliche as that sounds, that's what it felt like. And then you have the Magic. Joe Ingles played, boo, by the way. 9.5 minutes. Donut. 3 rebounds. 1 assist. Cole Anthony, 10 points off the bench. 1 rebound, 3 assists. That's what you need. Double figures off the bench. Him being aggressive. 4 for 7 from the field. 1 for 3 from 3. Got an and 1 and made the free throw. And then Mo Wagner didn't shoot well, but he's active. Always active. He was a plus 21. 2 points, 6 boards, 1 block on 1 for 5 shooting and 0 for 1 from 3. Markelle Fultz had a very solid game. 11 points, 2 rebounds, and solid defense on 4 for 6 shooting and 3 for 4 from the foul line. That's what you want to see from Fultz. And then Isaac was awesome off the bench. My favorite reserve in terms of their performance in this game. He was 8 points, 2 boards on 3 for 5 shooting and 2 for 4 from 3. As for the Magic starters, all whom played 21 plus minutes, Gary Harris, pretty quiet, but did a good job on Mitchell. 2 points on 0 for 3 shooting, and all those shots were threes. Made both of his points at the line. And then Jalen Suggs. Actually, no, Wendell Carter, pretty quiet. 2 points, 5 boards, but I would continue to start him in game 4, even though I wonder if they did or not. Probably did. And then you had, he was 1 for 4 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Jalen Suggs, unbelievable performance on both ends of the floor. 24 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, and a turnover on 9 for 11 shooting, 3 for 5 from 3, 3 for 3 from the line in 28 minutes. Franz Wagner had 16 points, 5 boards, and 8 assists on 6 for 12 shooting, just not shooting that well from 3. He's not a very good three-point shooter, clearly, right now. 1 for 5 from 3. I think he'll get better at it, though. 3 for 3 from the line. And then the player of the game, the new man in Orlando, Paolo Banchero. 31 points, 14 rebounds, including... Hold on, the sound dropped again. I'm almost there. Sorry. 14 points, including 7 offensive rebounds, 5 assists on 13 for 26 shooting, and 4 for 9 from 3. Only 2 free throw attempts and made 1 of them. He was amazing. So we got a series there. But anyway, thanks so much for listening, guys. Appreciate the Laker fans as always all season long. I hope you guys keep rocking with me in the offseason and, of course, the remainder of this playoffs. Appreciate you all for season 4 of my content for the Lakers. And have a great night. We'll be live again on Tuesday night to talk about more games that I watch. Peace, and I'll see you soon.